Hey everyone, welcome back to BikeBeat. Today we're taking a long deep dive into one of the most unusual and talked about returns in the scooter world, the 2026 Honda Big Ruckus PS250. If you've been around bikes for a while, you'll know the original Big Ruckus was never a mass-market machine. It was more of a cult scooter, known for its rugged frame, stripped-down look, and practical, quirky design. Now Honda has given it a modern re-entry, and it's time to explore what this new generation brings to the table. The Big Ruckus is instantly recognizable. Instead of wrapping the whole bike in glossy panels, Honda left its tubular steel frame out in the open, front and center. The industrial, raw design gives it this mechanical honesty that's rare in today's sleek scooter scene. Two large round headlights mounted at the front create almost a cartoonish, expressive face, while a tubular front rack is built in for cargo or tie-downs. It's not pretending to be elegant, it's meant to be rugged and useful. The pillion seat folds up to double as a backrest for solo riding, the main seat slides forward and back for rider adjustment, and everything about the ergonomics screams functionality. Under the skin you'll find the familiar engine layout. Historically, the Big Ruckus ran on a 249 cubic centimeters liquid-cooled single-cylinder four-stroke, putting out around 19 horsepower at about 7,000 RPM and about 15 lb-ft of torque. That's not superbike territory, but for a scooter, especially one with an automatic CVT transmission, it's enough to move through city streets, suburban commutes, and even short highway runs when needed. Expect the 2026 model to continue with a CVT automatic setup, meaning twist-and-go operation, no shifting, no clutch, just simplicity. Honda has almost certainly upgraded the fueling with modern injection and ECU mapping for stricter emissions compliance, which could tweak the output a bit but will keep it cleaner and more efficient. Ride dynamics are exactly what you'd imagine from a machine like this. With relatively fat 12-inch tires front and back, the Big Ruckus feels planted and stable. Suspension is simple but solid, telescopic forks at the front, single shock at the rear. Braking in the earlier versions featured Honda's linked system, where the rear brake lever also engaged some front braking power for added stability. The 2026 update may add ABS and at least a front disc setup, given today's safety expectations. It's not going to feel like a high-end sports scooter with plush travel and aggressive bite, but it gets the job done. Fuel economy is one of the reasons people gravitate towards scooters, and the Big Ruckus doesn't disappoint. In the past, it returned excellent mileage in the mid-30s km per liter range at moderate speeds. With fuel injection and tighter tolerances in 2026, it's realistic to expect strong efficiency, particularly in the stop-and-go conditions where scooters shine. Add to that a decent fuel tank capacity, and you've got respectable range between fill-ups. The riding position is another highlight. The handlebars are wide and upright, the footrests stretch forward a bit almost like a mini cruiser, and the seat can be adjusted for comfort. If you're riding solo, flipping up the pillion seat for a makeshift backrest makes longer commutes far more comfortable. Visibility is excellent because of the upright seating, and maneuverability in traffic is smooth thanks to the short wheelbase and scooter-style geometry. The trade-off, of course, is that there's basically no wind protection. Without fairings or a windshield, you'll feel every gust at higher speeds. Honda's choice to keep the frame exposed means storage had to be creative. Instead of a huge under-seat bucket, the Big Ruckus gives you tie-down bars, racks, and modular options. In earlier versions there was even a cylindrical side canister for small tools or gear. For 2026, Honda is likely to expand accessory offerings, things like bolt-on luggage, modular racks, and maybe an optional windshield. This keeps with the spirit of the bike. It's a platform you adapt to your lifestyle rather than a fixed, fully wrapped commuter. On the performance side, expectations should be clear. The Big Ruckus isn't about raw acceleration or high top speed. It's meant for steady, reliable commuting and weekend fun. Top speed will likely hover just above the 100 km/h mark, enough for light highway use but not for extended freeway touring. Acceleration is smooth and adequate, not thrilling. Where it shines is in everyday usability, easy takeoffs, stable cornering at low to medium speeds, and ruggedness that invites you to throw cargo on it and not worry too much. The unique aesthetic is one of its main selling points. That bare steel skeleton, bright frame colors, and almost military utility vibe make it stand out. While most scooters try to look futuristic or elegant, the Big Ruckus looks unapologetically mechanical. It appeals to people who want their machine to look like a machine, not a piece of mobile sculpture. For urban riders who want to stand out, this design is a head-turner, and it's just as polarizing today as it was when the original appeared. For 2026, Honda almost certainly added modern touches. Expect LED headlights and taillights, brighter indicators, and possibly a semi-digital dash replacing the old analog cluster. Riders today want a fuel gauge, trip meter, and maybe even average fuel consumption readout, so Honda will likely deliver those basics. Safety regulations may also push ABS as standard. The rest, though, will probably remain true to the bike's stripped-down DNA: simple controls, basic layout, no ride modes, no unnecessary gimmicks. Price is another big question. Back in the day, the Big Ruckus launched in the US around $5,500. With 2 decades of inflation and modern upgrades, expect the 2026 Big Ruckus PS250 to come in around $6,500 to $7,500 in the US market. In regions where import duties and taxes are high, such as Pakistan, that could double once landed in a showroom. This makes the Big Ruckus more of a premium lifestyle choice than a budget commuter. It's not the cheapest way to get around, but it offers something competitors don't: identity. And that's the key here. The Big Ruckus isn't about numbers. It's about what it represents. It's about hopping on a scooter that doesn't hide its bones, doesn't apologize for its oddball look, and offers enough practicality to be useful. It's for riders who don't care if their machine looks unconventional; in fact, they celebrate it. It's a conversation starter at traffic lights and a platform for personalization with racks, bags, paint jobs, or custom mods. Of course, there are compromises. No wind protection means fatigue at speed. Basic suspension means rough roads will be felt. Performance is modest, so overtakes need planning. With exposed frame, parts are more vulnerable to weather and dirt. And depending on where you live, price and parts availability may be a hurdle. But for the right rider, those aren't deal breakers, they're quirks you accept for the personality you get in return. If you're considering one, ask yourself what you want from a scooter. If your dream ride is silent comfort and high-tech displays, you might want to look elsewhere. But if you want rugged simplicity, visible engineering, and a scooter that can carry your groceries as easily as it can carry attention, the 2026 Honda Big Ruckus PS250 is a rare gem. To wrap it all up, Honda's reimagining of the Big Ruckus brings back everything that made the original special while updating it just enough for today's standards. It won't win drag races, it won't outcomfort maxi scooters, but it will carve out its own space in the market as one of the most character-rich two-wheelers available. At an estimated $6,500 to $7,500, it's not cheap, but for the rider who values uniqueness and practicality blended into one rugged package, it could be worth every penny. Thanks for hanging out with BikeBeat. If you enjoyed this long breakdown, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments, would you buy the new Big Ruckus? What's your favorite thing about this bike: the looks, the utility, or just the boldness of its existence? Until next time, ride safe, ride smart, and keep exploring.